Hello to everyone, all of our faithful audience members. Welcome back to Karandrin Role Playing. My name is Cracked Palantir, also known as Kevin Manus Pennings, and I will be your host and game master for this episode 128 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play the beautiful and talented paladin Brise. Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Good evening, everybody. Boy, do we have an exciting episode in store for you.
We have a lot of crazy stuff going on. So we're going to plunge. We're going to do a very 2 sentence recap, and we're going to plunge into it just to keep the ball rolling with some significant momentum. So basically, Brise and two mages who are friends of his, Fraudrum and Doshric, both very accomplished mages, were attempting to rescue humans from a rugged area called the Vetch. The Vetch is largely uninhabited except for these small human settlements. It's a hard scrabble region of the world. And a race of ancient undead called the Philistan have been in the western part of the Vetch for millennia and have recently, for various reasons that you can see on our past streams, have become more militant, more hostile, and have joined forces with some sorcerous power in the Vetch, and have decided to wipe out all other sentient life in their part of the Vetch and sort of declare sort of a region of control. Fraudrum, Doshric, and Brise traveled there via teleport, attempted to rescue as many people as they could. They brought back somewhere between 14 and 20 people. Not a large number. They only got to 2 out of the 3 settlements. And then they had to flee using a portal that Fraudrum created. And they landed in the vineyards of a human woman far to the south of the Vetch, an old friend of Fraudrum's, named Lady Kieran, and they have been taken in. Her and all of them and the refugees have been taken in by Lady Kieran, and have secured her help and secured rest for the refugees and themselves. And after a meal, there was a cry from the refugees eating outside in the courtyard, and Doshric, Fraudrum, and Brise ran out to see a green glow emerge on the horizon to the north, no doubt in the Vetch. So that was last episode, and we will pick up right off where we left, with the 3 of them and the refugees standing frightened, looking at the green light in the distance. We're early evening, mid-evening? Where are we?
Mid-evening, yeah.
So dark has already fallen. It's very hilly in this area as well. They are north of the city of Convergence, a city of a Mannish nation. It's got both elves and dwarves and pretty well everybody in it, but predominantly Mannish.
Well, the weather forecast is undead.
The weather forecast is troubling.
Not look good.
So Doshric, looked up and said, necromancy, and it was Fraudrum who said, in the Vetch. Mm-hmm. We knew that the Philistan were getting help from a powerful necromancer in the Vetch.
Right.
And perhaps that help has come to fruition.
True.
So Lady Kieran, she's a human woman, very skinny, attractive, like she's a little gaunt, to be honest. But her hair is in a little bun. She's olive-skinned. As she turns to Fraudrum, who's a female dark dwarf, and says to her, what does this mean? What does this all mean? Fraudrum simply turns to her and says, have your people calm the refugees. There's nothing to be done now, and we're well out of harm's way as far as we can tell. She turns to you two, that is you, Brise, and Doshrik, and she says, perhaps we should discuss some things over the remnants of dinner. And she turns and goes. Doshrik looks at you and follows. Doshrik is a towering presence. He's 8 feet high. He's from, we know, another world. He is a bird-like humanoid, red-feathered. He generally walks in a stooped manner to hide at least a foot of his height. And he sort of keeps himself constantly covered so his feathers and other things don't show. He seems very loyal. You have a very good feeling from him. He's maybe slow to form a friendship, but he's a principled being, you feel.
Right. Well, he did freak out a bit in the last episode, but besides that, he's been very level-headed. Yeah. Yeah.
He's not a combatant.
Right.
He really is pure research kind of magic guy. He's not an adventurer as you and Fraudrum once was, and you presently are. So,
while we're walking back, I don't know how far is it to the dinner table, right? Is it
15, 20 feet.
Okay, never mind. I was going to start a conversation with Doshrik, but
you walk back, you resume your seats. Fraudrum lets you guys enter. He carefully closes the courtroom door. He leans in low, to the table because he doesn't want things overheard by servants. She says, well, things apparently continue to develop in the vetch, regardless of our interference. Looks at you for comments.
I say, kind of like what you suggested, perhaps this is the work of Chelbrick.
Spell that we've seen.
I don't know. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You just say, I don't know. They already have an undead army, right? Themselves. I don't know what else, more forces they could use.
The necromancer, all necromancy can make the undead stronger, as well as enslave them to their will.
Interesting.
It would take an enormous amount of power to make an army more powerful. But also, whatever we saw clearly was an enormous amount of power.
Right.
Doshrik says, surely, Master, Chelbrick must have apprentices. This must be some form of ritual magic to be visible from this far. And Fraudrum nods. It is one of the reasons we employ apprentices, so that we can combine magics to attempt things that would be either impossible or too dangerous to attempt alone. We should be cautious in using the name Chelbrick then around the city. No doubt he has contacts here, and no doubt the apprentices at least visit here with some regularity, making contacts, purchasing goods, and honestly, just as I do, they pay shopkeepers to keep an ear out for their name being used.
Right. I mean, that also means we can get information on him, although we're definitely short on time to do that. At least his name might be passed around the city.
The apprentices dare not spread it, of course. But you're right, anyone could slip up.
Right.
They have need occasionally of adventurers, people skilled at arms and not afraid to go into dangerous places. So the the logical places of recruitment or logical places that we could put an ear out.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is we have too few ears.
Right.
Have you told, I forget, have you told Frowdrum of Chelbrick's connection to convergence that you learned?
Remind me. Oh, that was, you mean iron, right? Mentioning.
Yes.
Yes. I have not actually, and so I'll bring that up now. Thanks for reminding me. So I mentioned that I did speak with, yesterday, I spoke with, how do I say it? It was a sorcerer named Prethnot, who I spoke with one of her, the right word would be, just was someone loyal to her, and he knew the name Chelbrick, and would try to dig up would look into the matter in the vetch. But again, that was just yesterday. So we at least have one ally. And then I'll add that he apparently had a falling out with Chelbrick previously. Chelbrick had betrayed him in some measure.
Doshrik says, I know a little of Prethnot. I attempted to elicit her help when I first was deposited on your world, but she would not help me.
She has a thing against birds. Can't stand them.
Could you facilitate an introduction between me and this person? This is Frowdrum speaking, I should say.
Right.
This person who was wronged by Chelbrick. Any information we get could be important.
Yes, I know how to at least request. I can say I'll put in a word for sure and see if I can arrange a meeting place in time. Okay.
Well, that's one avenue we can explore. It may be time to bring this to the attention of the council. But the vetch is so uninhabited. I don't know that the council will care. These councils form merely to stay out of each other's way. I wish they were nobler in purpose than that, but I'm afraid they're purely self-interested. But I have not heard the name Chelbrick in either of the councils that I am a member of, which means that they are that Chelbrick is operating under everyone's radar, which may be enough to get council's interest, but there are no guarantees.
Right.
Roll for me.
35.
Do you think there's any value in trying to get the
Trinidad. Yeah.
the Trinidas to try to help you?
Yeah, I was thinking I would. I mean, they've tried their best so far, right? It hasn't really been enough. So I'm skeptical, but it couldn't hurt to at least teleport to their valley and beseech them.
They've been useful as spies,
right?
Do you want them? And that's what you need. You need information.
Well, right.
Do you mention this to them or not?
Yeah, well, I mentioned that, as Fraldrum knows, I've been being visited by the certain fey creatures, the Trinidas and the Flower Children, to bring news from the Vetch. I could always, so I could teleport to reach out to the Trinidas directly as well, in case we needed to ask them for more information.
They have been useful. Mm-hmm. If they could at least keep an eye, if they could locate Shelbrook's stronghold and keep an eye on the comings and goings there, that could be of some interest.
Right.
They themselves in danger from the Philistine.
Is that a question?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. They seem to have been able to stay out of their sights, without difficulty. I think they would be able to hide.
And Fey magic is very difficult to detect and very difficult to stop.
Now, actually, the Trinidas do know where his tower is, because they told me that his tower seemed to be inactive up until this point, right? The last time they spoke to me. So I should say that news too, that they do know where his tower is and have been spying on it and haven't seen any activity yet. Although that was this morning.
So either they're not communicating in person or they're not communicating at the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Doshrik says, don't we have to assume that Shelbrook's ultimate goal will be to gain control entirely of the Philistine? Fraldrum says, unless his interests take him in a much more surprising direction than we can realize, I think that's a good assumption. And once he has even a handful of Philistine, no doubt he'll begin kidnapping wanderers, travelers, and probably enslaving them under the eye of the Philistine.
Mm-hmm.
Fraldrum leans back, thinking. She munches on, some piece of bread. Crumbs, of course, fall all over her. She's just,
I brushed them away for her. Goodness.
a full-on tit slap, just to get it all clear. Um, Doshrik says, Lady Meogral will be of no help in this matter. It's too far from her realm.
Yeah.
If the councils won't help, we are on our own. And I don't know what little we can do, particularly if the Philistan are now patrolling the valleys and are openly showing themselves.
I guess I asked, what domain does the Vetch technically lie in? Is it Meagral's or some other lord we could try to persuade?
The Vetch is not even in Nargaz.
Yeah.
It's split. The majority of it, your understanding of the geography is the majority of it lies in Theaxia, the Manish nation that you're in presently. And then just an edge of it covered by the sort of city boundary and a little beyond of Pleston, which is the city of the White Shield, the Lady of the White Shield, which is is the king's only daughter. She rules that city. It was the only city that was laid siege to by the goblins, but did not fall.
Recent development. Well, so yeah, I was going to say, if there's someone whose territory that's under, we could at least try to persuade that leader to send forces to, as spies or to impede their progress or what have you. But if it's truly wilderness, then yeah, no one will care.
Fraldrum says, I have contacts in Pleston. I can have them begin spreading rumors, which, while not exactly true, will eventually be true.
Yeah.
Doshrik says, I too have close friends in Pleston. They may be in a position to do something similar.
I don't have any friends in Pleston.
You've never been to Pleston. You were headed that way. There was a recommendation for you to go there.
There was, yeah, when I was under Verilag's.
Yeah.
Verilag, yeah.
Yeah, during sort of the Verilag saga, which I keep meaning to group those stories under the Verilag saga and have that as a separate playlist for us. I need to go through and do that. So, and then we'll have these various sagas. You know. There's part of you that wishes there was a way to recruit Volshad. You know,
I was thinking that, like, is there a way to pit, like, Volshad against? Because she would be a necromancer of a lot of power.
Right.
Maybe well, actually, I mean, might as well bring up that idea. I asked Fraldrum, is there any other Is there any other allies we have skilled in necromancy? At least that could give us an edge onto what's happening in the valley.
Fraldrum thinks and shakes her head. Doshrik says, I know of a woman. She is, of course, of questionable character, but she's too far distant to be interested. Her tower is on the Black Gulf, the very bottom of Theaxia.
Perhaps what we also do is just recruit some adventurers in Convergence to discover what's happening. Hire mercenaries to at least find out what's happening in the Vetch and have them.
We could offer a bounty, but I don't know how we would prove we would have to have a good feeling about those adventurers. But
Right.
perhaps a mithril ahead, so to speak, could begin keeping the Philistine in check. It would also be nice to know the fate of those already slain by the Philistine,
Hmm.
because they could have a few hundred more recruits at hand, unless they intend to use them as slaves.
Right.
Given that he's in hills, I would expect Chelbrick to turn his attention to mining, hoping to seek mineral wealth amongst the hills, so the dwarves consider that a long lost cause.
Hmm.
And um, and then he would hope to maintain, of course, a 24-hour labor force, mining for what wealth he can.
Right.
Then it's hiring of adventurers to secure powerful items, and on the cycle grows, and his power will grow, although thankfully not quickly.
Hmm.
More worrisome is the Philistine allowing him to plunder their ancient sites, and whatever magical lore they possess becomes his.
That's true.
It is not impossible that there is not an entire arsenal of considerable magic hidden at one of their ancient sites,
Hmm.
that whatever slayers of that people overlooked. And all it takes is one Philistine with memory of their living life to take Chelbrick to that. And yet another deal is sparked. But trying to beat the Philistine to a location when we don't even know where it is or what we're looking for seems foolhardy at best.
Hmm.
Perhaps you could ask the Trinidos.
Where the certain sites are, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
The larger the site, the more you should urge them to keep an eye on it. It's by no means foolproof. Some Philistine wizard could have had a remote home, like many do, and there's the best arsenal. But we don't have a choice in the matter. We have to take things as simply as we can for now. Information is our first need. Lady Kieran re-enters. Frowdrum straightens herself and sort of glances at you guys to kind of change the topic, right? And she's shaking her head and wringing her hands worriedly. She says, the glow continues. It flickers occasionally, becoming brighter, dimmer, brighter. Oh, not to interrupt our stream of thought, but hey, in the next few months, there will be a nova.
No.
Um,
Above the vetch.
in our skies, there will be a nova that blows up every 75 to 80 years, something like that. And they're expecting it in the next 3 months.
Cool.
And so it's a type 1A supernova, you know what I'm talking about? It's where the...
Yeah, well, yeah, I know the nova is like, when a star like kind of brightens, like it reacts, it gets more fuel.
Well, there's a couple of types. So one is like the transition from like a yellow dwarf. Like our sun will go nova.
Right.
And become a red giant. So that's one type. And then it stays a red giant for, billions of years. And then it dies and becomes a white dwarf. But this is a white dwarf orbiting a bigger star.
Oh, okay.
And white dwarfs are just dead cores. That's all they are. There's no fusion going on. They're just literally cooling chunks of iron.
Right.
But it's sucking fuel off of the surface of a neighbor that it orbits.
Right. Okay.
And then as that fuel gets compressed and gets hotter, eventually it reaches nuclear fusion temperatures. and boom, it gets a moment of the ignition.
Wow.
And then it stays lit for like a year. So it's supposed to be like in between the constellation Hercules and some other constellation. I can't remember, but I'm sure they'll announce it when it shows. But yeah, so just in the next 2 to 3 months, we should have a.
Oh, great! It's Corona Borealis is the white dwarf star. That's good. No,
That's right. Coronavirus.
I think I caught that during 2021.
That's right.
That's cool. Everybody, keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So last time it was like 1936 or something when it went up, and so it's about time. If you're, I guess your age, you've got a shot of seeing it twice, assuming the Earth is still here and not a burned cinder.
And remembering it's gonna.
Exactly. So Lady Kieran comes in. She's worried. She's like, we've had 2 horse messengers already come from neighboring estates. They're concerned.
Well, as they ought to be.
Frowdrum says it's clearly a bad omen of the vetch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel in my bones that no traveler should go there. And then you stand up and go, liar! You don't feel it in your bones.
You have no bones.
That's right. It's the defining feature of dark dwarves, that they have no bones. So the she sits. Servants sort of come immediately and follow her in, and she offers you guys more, sort of after dinner drink, if you'd like any.
Frowdrum definitely help myself to some.
Yeah, Frowdrum too was like, yes, keep them coming. So sort of plans are sort of laid after Lady Kieran goes to bed. Mm-hmm. When would you like to try to contact Iron?
Yeah, I mean, I tell Frowdrum that I will, first thing tomorrow, I will go to Convergence, try to arrange that meeting, and also go to the Trinidas and let them know that we'd like to have them keep an eye on the Philistan.
And any major Philistan ruin.
Right, gathering at any of the ruins. And then I'll report back to the keep.
He secures permission from Lady Kieran to use this as a meeting place, as a neutral ground. Mm-hmm. Gives the names of individuals that might be appearing. Says that it's, for the safety of everyone near the vetch, that she assists, and she is more than eager to assist. She's unlike some of these other allies you've seen, like she's very uncomfortable doing it, but mm-hmm. she understands the importance of doing it. A lot of these other people are like, they're sort of used to this world, right? This supernatural and that sort of thing. And she clearly is not, mm-hmm. but she feels like she's doing her duty, and clearly she has. She feels a great loyalty and duty to Frowdrum for helping her father.
Right.
Doshrik is going to visit all of the contacts in Pleston, including Frowdrum's.
Okay.
Just to make one trip of it, begin discussion of what to do. It's unlikely that the light was seen from Pleston. Pleston's just too far north of where it occurred. They think it's unlikely. The curvature of the Earth, if nothing else, probably blocked that light. but he'll ask around and ascertain that. You're going to do iron, and Fraldrum is going to set word with send word to the council and see if he can get a meeting arranged to discuss what's going on in the vetch.
Mm-hmm.
He does say that given their self-serving nature, one outcome that we should be prepared for is that someone on the council will attempt to, or already is, making a deal with Shelbrick.
Right.
And there's nothing that can be done about that.
Oh, Chakra.
No kidding.
Okay.
So, they all plan. Let me think. You're going to go back to
Convergent.
keep, right? Ultimately, you're going to head back.
Yes. Ultimately, yeah. Unless they want us to meet here, you know.
Actually, you probably should come here so you can fill them in, and then you can go to the keep.
Okay.
So let's aim. They say everyone wants to meet back here, by nightfall.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
I ask Fraldrum if there's a, when we're just alone, right? Is there a spot where I could teleport into Lady? Do you know if Lady Kieran has any wards against teleporting into her estate?
I assisted her with that.
Okay.
But I only placed them within buildings. It was largely to protect any further agents from tampering with people's dreams.
Mm. And I'll teleport into I'll just find a spot outside and come back to. Look at me thinking ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, you go out and, take your floating lantern and sort of like just scour an area, out of view, behind some wood pile or tool shed or something. Right. Did you want to ask Doshrik something?
I do. I would like to ask him about if he, how he reacted to mentioning the name of Fedefek, which was Lord Hestus's chief general. I'm going to get a chance.
Ahead of the stairs to retire, you kind of pull him aside and he says, it's definitively one of my people who leads that lord's armies.
Okay.
Kedefek is a word in our language. It's a name in our language. Loosely translated, it means branch eater. It means one strong of beak.
Mm. He's got a nice pecker, is what you're saying.
In a wooden mask. I don't know if that's. It's got a nice pecker.
Okay. And I ask him, do you know of others of your kind that have visited our world?
Well, he mentioned to you that every now and then that would happen because there's a portal far north of the desert, but it's way up in the air.
Oh, that does sound familiar.
And
Yeah.
I remembered that, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to roll to see if. Well, I always roll to see if like a given NPC, I roll if they're native or not, which means are they from this area, and
Right.
or should roll on some generalized chart that I have in my head about here are the common races in this area. They should be one of these 3 or 4. If they're not local, then I'll use my my world chart for like it could be any race. And so the general was not local, and then I used my general race and I rolled a 100, which means special, means otherworldly.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it could be one of Doshrek's people because that's not too far away. And I rolled like an 85 for that. And I was like, okay, so
Right. Okay.
um,
Cool.
um, so
Yeah. Well, I just leave it as like, well, then we might have an in to discuss with, at least to meet him, at some point.
it is true. He would be quite surprised to receive a message in his native tongue.
Hmm.
I doubt there's anyone here who could read it. And you're like, I can, because I got magical
Must.
sophistication and they can translate anything.
If you guys meet, you should meet in a bush
That's right.
because two birds. Wait, no, you should meet in the hand
You
because
should mean the hand. I don't even know what that means. Is this another pecker joke? Because I'm uncomfortable. I got to tell you right now.
two peckers in the hand is worth two.
That's right. Obi-Wan. I just saw your message, Obi-Wan. No, please don't mention peckers. That's
Oh,
funny.
right.
Um, um, so gives you a little bow. He retires for the evening. You retire for the evening, and we could take a little break right here. It's kind of perfect.
I think that is perfect.
So, guys, we're gonna take a short break, and then we'll be back with you. We're gonna go refill our drinks and stuff. Let me take down this thing. So just bear with us for a few minutes, and we'll be right back with you. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Let's go get Max. There's Max. So let's roll your 3 for the night.
Let's do it. Ooh, let me get off of this also. Let's do that. Okay. First roll, 38.
Okay, roll again.
Second roll, 64. And then 47.
All right. Perfectly quiet evening. You wake a little later than you normally do, but given the day you've had, that can't be particularly surprising. No dreams particularly, and you're fully rested. Your exhaustion is back up.
Hit points are back to, yeah, I was only down 8 hit points. And I'm sure I get my PowerPoints correct. So my PowerPoint store I would have put into. This would be 25. That's now back to 50.
Oh, did you want to recharge the... didn't you use your spell store?
I did, actually.
So do you want to roll that really quickly and have you cast... Was it Calm that you put in there?
Yeah, let's put another Calm spell in there. Level
What tomes do you have? Oh, your tomes are trapped.
Nature's Law and Familiars.
So Nature's Law.
Again, it has to be lower than 4th level, right?
Yeah.
So, which is
Nature's
just detect water, plant lore, and tracking.
I see. I was thinking Fog might be in there, but I guess not.
It's level 4.
Dang it.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool to shoot a location and have Fog
exactly,
emerge.
Yeah. That's okay.
So you want to put Calm?
Yeah.
All right, roll it up. We'll do that the night before.
89. It's a great cast.
No problem.
Okay.
All right. You guys eat. You have a good breakfast. Meeting back up here at sundown. When's your next? I know you're about to go meet the Trinidash yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When are they expecting to have?
We did not set a date, I believe.
Oh, I guess because
we were just like, okay, we'll see what happens.
Right, you had to play it by ear because of the impending attacks.
Yeah, I asked them to watch for any additional movements, and that's it. Yeah.
All right. So where to first?
Let's go to Convergence first, because I also want to visit the Immortal Candle and buy that those boots.
Okay.
I have enough mithril now because I was back at the keep.
Right. Where are those boots?
The
channeling adder.
Yeah, +2 channeling adder, and I'll trade in my well, actually, first things first. Can I check on my bag of holding and see if it's any better? You know, it was repairing itself a little bit.
It opens normally.
Oh, thank goodness. And I guess I'll just validate the contents of it. I can tell you what's in it see if anything's damaged. Or...
No, everything is fine. Some objects feel warm, and you'll keep an eye on those to see if if that's warmth from the bag or if that's warmth from them, indicating that they have been damaged.
Right.
But when enchantments are on those given items, seem fine. They don't seem difficult to attune to. You can identify them. You know, you can operate them. So Fraudum does report at breakfast that he asked Lady Kieran to set a watch upon that point on the horizon. and to report any changes to it. And it went away several hours into the night. So it lasted on the horizon several hours, but is no longer visible.
Okay.
So oh wait, they're weird. All right. So time to teleport.
Well, I mean, how far away is Convergence? Could I see it on the?
Oh, that's true. It's
I could just take a little walk there, save my PowerPoints.
It won't be a little walk. This countryside spreads for miles. Right, to feed that size of the city. And you're on, larger estates and so on. So when you ask directions of a servant, they tell you you'll be there mid-morning, a couple hours, pretty easy.
Okay. I think that's fine.
Okay.
I don't have any other commitments, so might as well.
Except for one, right? And with the
Well, right. I mean, yeah. But mid-morning should be plenty of time.
Instructions seem pretty straightforward. It's only a couple of turns.
Mm-hmm.
Roll to navigate.
So I'll also, once I come inside of the city walls, I'll put my weapons into my bag of holding. But for now, I'll keep them out on me. It's an 87 to navigate.
No problem. Pass almost no one on the road. Get a few hands raised to you. As you pass workers in the field. That's right.
They're like, get away from me. What are you doing?
After I may have told you this story before, and thereby all of our audience, but when my mom died, we had neighbors right across the street in this very rural area of Georgia, and our neighbor Alan, who's just this great country soul, and he's just great. And he said, I wasn't close with your mom, but whenever I saw her, I'd throw a hand up.
Throw a hand up. I don't think you told me that. That's funny.
I just love that expression. I'd throw a hand up. The cadence of it is great. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and you can see immediate hesitation when they see that you have weapons on you at all. There's like, hope I didn't just attract attention I didn't want. And it's just a reminder of these people live different lives than you do, Make it within the side of the city. You get the outer city, which is, those businesses that cluster along against the walls. People who have built homes, shanty or otherwise, on the outsides because it was cheaper than the inside. Mm-hmm. And put your weapons in your thing, except you want to keep a dagger.
Oh, yeah. Keep a dagger on my belt.
And you're let in without any hassle. Roll to make it to the immortal candle.
Okay. 48.
Okay. Not a problem. You make it to the immortal candle. Mm-hmm. They are busy, which could be useful. It's an odd bunch here. It's looks like higher end merchants looking at magic items and only a few adventurers. Um, so, everyone gives you a nod. You're approached immediately, asked if you could, if you need any help.
Yeah, and I'll find the speak with the owner that I or whoever I spoke with last time. I made a deposit on the boots, the channeling adder boots.
Hard to forget a beautiful face like that.
Yeah.
And pull them out for you. And they are yours.
Okay. Well, I will also trade my large water skin +3 channeling adder as well to knock off some of the price there. I can't remember. Did we say how much that was? Like 120 or?
No, I can't remember.
Let's see. I feel like
it was $1 million, and they were going to give you the shop.
Let's see. I can sell my channeling water skin. Oh, for 453. Okay. So I'll trade that in
and pay the remainder. Huh?
Let me do some text formatting here. Okay, that's crossed off. Sell this guy. Sell a large water skin. This is why we should do shopping off stream.
Well, and we can say that you accomplished that here. Like you can sell whatever you need to sell, but we'll just come back and do it.
Yeah, exactly. But for now, I'll just mark that down and buy the boots. So, okay, great. I now have these awesome boots. Are the boots, do they require attunement?
Are they?
They are an channeling adder. My water
adder would require attunement.
Right, okay. So, as soon as I'm out of the store, I will attempt to attune to them.
Roll it up.
94.
Nice. Yep. You have full control of them.
Fantastic. Quinn says, none of this makes sense. Today is not Wednesday. Max is in a different location. Crack Palantir is looking alive for a change. Up is down, left is right. Yeah, we actually have a quality stream this time.
I know it is. It is upsetting. It's upsetting to us too, to be honest with you, Quinn. Yeah, sorry. I was supposed to make an announcement this weekend, and just thing after thing went wrong. So I do apologize to our audience. I was supposed to announce it, and man, I slept through whole days with headaches. Oh my God, it was bad. Karen had a migraine. It was just really awful. So I was trying to do it yesterday, and I slept through most of it yesterday. What was that?
Here we are, unannounced.
Unannounced, but at least trying to get our weekly in, excuse me. So do you want to talk to anyone about Chelbrook?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I would attract too much attention.
Well, even the merchants, do you think?
I guess, yeah. I guess if there's this many of them here, yeah. How do I go about it covertly?
You can only do it quietly, right?
Yeah.
There's no way to hide the fact
I can disguise that. Okay.
Well, unless you disguise your appearance and then do it.
Right.
So that at least they can't, if they report back to Chelbrook, then it won't lead back to you as easily.
Yeah. I think it should be okay.
Let it pass, or are you just going to ask?
I'll ask.
Okay.
So just go up to them when not too many other people, when they seem to be isolated, not too many other people.
You would have some coin in hand as thanks, or as incentives.
Yeah, I guess if they're looking at magic items, I'll have 10 gold in my hand, kind of, At the ready.
Yeah. There's a elven merchant. He's looking at leather jerkins. Must be considering doing some travel in some sketchy areas. He once you roll your gut instinct on him when he answers you,
20.
he tells you he's never heard the name.
All right.
He says, but if it's worth my while, where do you think I should ask around to get you information?
I don't know. I don't think this guy's going to have the right contacts. I mean, I'll ask him. Can I ask first what interest you have in magic items? Do you deal in any magical arts or with people who associate?
Only fools turn down power. I have a dagger that leaps with flame. Tell me that doesn't scare off brigands. I found a harness that can command my horse to do anything I wish from yards away. Now that, if you're in a tight spot, traveling, that is useful. And armor, he just shows you. Admittedly, this may be as heavy as I ever come, but I'll take whatever can slow an arrow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I ask him, why don't you look around ask around other magic shops for the name, and then report back.
They could leave word for you at the guild.
Yeah, I was thinking leaving word for. I'll use a code name.
Batman. Use Batman.
Batman.
They have never heard of Batman.
Leave word for Batham.
Batman and Gotham. Clever.
At the guild. Bathema. And I'll slip him 10 gold pieces.
Do you want to advise him that it's dangerous?
Yeah, I should say just be
very discreet.
Yeah, very discreet when you ask.
If there's danger, don't you think 50 would be more in order?
So that's fair enough. And then I'll give him another 50 gold.
He pockets it. He says he'll try to have you something this week.
Okay.
You asking another individual here?
Yeah, I'll ask one of the other merchants. Seems to be kind of unassociated with this one, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'll have 10 gold at the ready.
Approach.
Can you remind me before we do that, what was that merchant's appearance and name? I didn't get it noted down. Appearance and or name.
His name is Hebrim, Hebbrim. Maybe give you just a basic. Well, honestly, just average looking. Has mid-length beard, average height and weight, mid-back length strawberry hair. Oh, man.
Is he human?
Elvin.
Okay.
This is a human you're talking to now. You introduce yourself as Bathema, I assume.
Yes.
This is age. There it is. Young, very, very fine dress. I say, oh, excuse me, female. Average appearance. She is short and slight. Green eyes. But she is, man, I mean, that is some very fine fabric she is wearing.
How are you and like, but she is man. And I was like, huh? What? Is she? Is they?
They. Her name is Ethred.
Okay. Hello, Ethred.
She's in. She is from a jeweler's guild in Iron Falls, which is to the south and on the border with the Dwarven lands. Suggest she is not going to know Chelbrick, but might as well ask, right?
Yeah.
She really praises your beauty. She is just struck by your.
Can I get a roll for her?
Yeah, roll for your gut feeling on her.
14.
Man, you are not reading these people.
I didn't see reading emotion. It seems that way. I always roll pretty low for some reason. Insight.
But when like it's really important, you have a strange knack.
Exactly.
You ask about Chelbrick. She has heard the name. She feels it was here in Convergence when she heard it. Probably last year at a party. That's it, she says. Was a guest at a summer party. Oh, I'm going to get Chelbrick called up here.
Why the guest's name was Chelbrick? He killed everyone at the party. She just like starts like the story gets more.
Yeah, it gets worse and worse. Like,
you're like, oh my goodness.
You see physically what's striking about him. Tall, handsome older man. Really handsome. Quite the charmer. He did party tricks for us. That's right. Little magic tricks. He had a wand of silver.
Hmm.
Why do you ask?
I'll just politely decline. It's important business. I'm looking for him. And I ask if you know anything else about the guest, right? Like where he might have come from or who invited him.
Right. You want to know about the host.
Right.
I was sort of a third wheel. It was here in the city, though.
Hmm.
I didn't even really know the host. There's probably nothing you can bribe her with.
Yeah.
I mean, she
Jog
is
her memory.
loaded. What you could do, and it would burn your whole day, is follow her around until she returns to wherever she's staying. And if she's staying at a private home, then maybe that's a source for more information. But that's the only way you would,
Well, I guess I rolled so low on my insight of her, right? But does it feel like she can't remember, honestly, or is she withholding anything?
It doesn't feel like she's withholding anything.
Right.
Being an out-of-towner, it seems unlikely she would be in cahoots.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. What's the benefit then of
Because then you have the guest, the host to question. Not the host of the party, but the person who took her as the +1. She's staying at a friend's house. The friend lives here.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So she went sort of as a third wheel, right? She didn't really know the host.
Right.
She was taken as
okay.
guest.
Then let me ask her then. If your friend took you, do you think I could just ask your friend the same question? If it wouldn't be too impolite. Use my best manners.
You would have to throw in the fact that obviously you would not be wearing this.
Good point. I would come dressed in much better finery. I make quite good company, I swear.
She's clearly uncomfortable with that proposal. She hems and haws and makes excuses, and she's trying to politely decline.
Right.
I rolled 12, 16, 14. I mean, I'm just trying to find a circumstance in which she might say yes.
Yeah.
And she is just,
Well, I think I will. We could do two things. We'd tail her and then back to her home, or I could tail her into an alley and then charm her and then have her lead me home.
Right. That is very interesting. And you've got one. Well, you don't have one locked and loaded. I guess you do. You could cast it out.
Yeah, I could put another spell in there, right?
Yes. You do have information now that that Shelbrick comes to the city to socialize, which is interesting. And he
Wait, do I know that? I thought the man. Well, okay.
Shelbrick,
she said a guest mentioned his name,
and then no, he was at that he was actually at the party.
I thought she was talking about the guest. Okay.
No,
Shelbrick was at the party. That's why I was a little confused. I'm like, this is like so many degrees removed. But it was
right, Kevin
Shelbrick
Bacon.
himself. Okay.
Right.
Understood. Yeah, this is actually a very good lead. Her name Shelbrick.
Although I guess it would tell you, although I guess we should really think realistically about how much could you possibly learn, right? I mean, so even if, let's say you found Shelbrick's best friend who's a wealthy civilian in the city.
Right.
What are you going to do with that?
Yeah. Put him under house arrest.
I mean, you, Frowdrum, and Doshrik ambush him in the home of the wealthy, and
I mean, we did it with what was Mia Grall's friend, the wine, Anlev, but she wasn't friends with a necromancer. She was just on the periphery of something else,
right? And did not have the means to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy has the means to fight back.
Okay.
You'd hate to lay waste to a neighborhood with fireballs, but
yeah.
Not that was any.
Well, I mean, if I know there was a party here and he visited, there might be more references to him, right? So I think it's maybe worth just asking around more rather than.
Yeah. Again, and it's sort of like because I sort of fell into this trap too as the game master, right? I'm like, lead. Yeah, but where is it leading? You know where he is. If you really wanted to go see him there.
Yeah.
Now that's a stronghold, admittedly, and he knows it and you don't. Much better to ambush him, but
right. It would be nice to know if he's visiting the city on any schedule, right? Or
yes. What are you, British?
Has any business? That actually slipped out though.
It's really funny.
I say vase sometimes too.
That's not British. That's that's regional. Depends on where you are.
British enough.
Aunt, vase, vase. Roos, right, Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
So that's really, and so I don't know. I think I'd put it on hold for now, and maybe just what else could you determine? You don't have any way of like marking her to find her later.
No, yeah, and she's already kind of uncomfortable with me.
Well, just visiting the home.
Right.
So, I don't know what to say about how to make further use of the information.
Okay. I think it's something I can just bring up to Fraldrum and or Iron, right?
Right.
For now.
Oh, that would be important to Iron.
Exactly.
Holy crap.
So,
because he may not have, considered that, and now he can ask around.
Mm-hmm.
Roll for me.
79.
So if you can get her to slip, and reveal the location of the party, that would give a region of the city for Iron to begin looking.
Okay.
And so, so you think like saying something like,
right.
You said,
I've heard the parties on the west side are very good. I wonder how it compares to yours.
Right. Something like that. So you give that a whirl. Let's see if she,
takes the bait.
Double aught.
Wow.
Yeah. Lady Inabream has wonderful parties, far better than those anywhere in the city, from what I've heard. I know her very little, of course, but I would not have her hospitality disparaged in any way. Double ought.
Hook, line, and sinker.
That's right.
Might as well just take a few mithril from her pockets too. She's like, "Go ahead, it's fine."
Exactly.
Was that Lady Inevreen?
Bream, INABREEM.
Inevreen. Okay.
Not an NT or anti ant. Are you Obi-Wan? Are you an ENT? Wow, you've definitely got a solid lead now.
Yeah.
So hosted Chelbrick at a party. Nice.
Okay. I think that's all the useful information I can get.
So maybe if you passed on your way to, well, actually, when you go to the, is it the Blue Door Inn? Is that right?
That's right. Blue Door Inn is
So that's very high end.
And then the messenger, yes.
And you could ask about Inabream there.
Yeah, true.
You
Sounds
know, hopefully,
next up.
yeah. So, yeah. Well, cool. Do you think this is a good place for us to stop?
Yeah, we can stop here.
Very cool. So,
My way to the Blue Door.
yeah. So we'll call it late morning. Yeah, you've got some information, at least to parlay into action.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
All right, gang. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us again for another episode. Little social investigatory episode, but I kind of like those too. I like the seeing what's known and what's not known. So thanks always for watching. We really appreciate it. If you think we're doing a good job, hop the donor box and send us a little love. Watch more of Max on his own YouTube channel where he discusses the role of music and
Uh-oh. What a time to lose Kevin. Oh my gosh. And go to artstation.com/tortolita.
oh my Lord. That was crazy. We're still live, but it kicked us in the last seconds.
What a time.
What a weird time. It doesn't like my novel.
When we were down and out. Well, I just don't worry. I started talking about artstation.com/tortolua.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I did. I skipped that for the first time in ages. I skipped that. My apologies. And hey, there's a novel out there. You can see it right there. Go take a look. Thanks for watching. Max, say goodbye to these lovely people.
Bye-bye, everybody. Quick before it kicks us again.